Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Shades and it's prediction time. Premier League is upon us. Watch till the end as we predict. Here we go. So yes, guys, it's literally raining here. It's not like really raining. It's like drizzling here a little bit. And so it's all the shades. It's shades on the next level. So we're going to talk about Premier League. We're not going to talk about much of the lower half. We're going to talk about mainly the top four, which teams can actually be there. So we'll predict the top four typically, and we're going to talk about some of the clubs like the dark horses, which could actually be the clubs which can make an impact in the top four, break into the top four, So it's not easy to predict at this moment, keeping in mind that May is next year, almost like 9-10 months to go. But we're going to give it a try, give it a shot and see how it goes. So here we go on that. So when we do predictions, we'll have to keep in mind that there are some few teams which are always going to be up there. The two Manchester clubs, the club from Liverpool is also called Liverpool, by the way. The three clubs from London, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs, the three clubs. So they're going to be up and above there. There are going to be certain clubs like Wolves, Sheffield United, Everton, Leicester, and surprise clubs from somewhere. It could be a Southampton, could be a Leeds. Not much talked about Leeds these days, right? But Leeds and Bielsa. So could be those clubs which can make an impact. And you never know. These clubs could be the ones who can try to break in. So we're going to talk a little bit on that. As I said, Everton, Sheffield United, Leicester, Leeds to a certain extent. There's a lot of talk about Leeds, mainly because of the fact that, after 15 years they're on the top, in the top division. And Bielsa is one of those kind of managers, the old school kind of managers. And it's going to be quite fun watching Bielsa this season. There'll be a lot of talk, a lot of gossip, a lot of nonsense that will happen in the Premier League related to Bielsa. And a lot of things, a lot of managers will talk about it. You'll get to see it like a soap opera. It will be really fun. But these are the clubs, the Wolves, Sheffield United, Leeds United, Everton will be up and above. Everton has got some good signings. They will most likely have Tomori as a loan signing. They already got Jesus Rodriguez in their team, and they already have a decent team. Ancelotti has always been a good manager, so will not be surprised to see him if his side finishes in the top 6th. Sheffield United will have Ampadu in their team. They already have a very good defensive lineup. They could also feature in the top 6. Understand with Sheffield United and Wolves, one thing I feel about those clubs is that these clubs is like the old Chelsea. If you remember 20 years ago or 22 years, 23 years ago, Chelsea used to be like that. We used to do pretty well against the likes of Manchester United. But when we were playing a struggling team, a relegation struggling team, teams which are in the 15th, 16th, 17th, trying to avoid relegation, we lose. And it has happened in real time these days as well. We lost to West Ham last season when we should have won that match. Obviously not should have, but we could have. And then Crystal Palace, we were about to lose that match. Somehow we won that, It's just a couple of months ago these things all happened. It was just last season though. So, but just to say, the Chelsea old was a lot like that. I find Sheffield United and Wolves to be a lot like that. They've got some really impressive players and a really impressive manager, a guy who is doing pretty good with that team. They will be up there 5th and 6th and about, but they will not be able to finish the deal. That means get into the top 4 or something. So that's where I feel that they will be up there, maybe beating a big team, but the next moment they might lose to a Southampton or a West Ham and give up all that momentum that could have had, things like that. So that's the reason why you'll see Everton, Wolves, Sheffield United doing well, but not enough to get into the top 4, top 5, which, now coming to that, as I said, the clubs which we really talk about with the ones who will be up there. At least at this moment, that's how it seems. Because it's still 1 month to go for the transfer window to close. It will be sometime in October. So still a lot of time where some of these clubs will still go ahead and sign some players. Leeds are buying some really good players. So it'll be interesting to see. Now we'll come to Arsenal first. First of the top 6 teams. I have been very happy with Arteta's way of managerialship. He doesn't have the best of squad. He doesn't have the best of team. But if you look at Arteta and Arsenal, he has been able to get the best out of players, which and on a different day you'll see these guys will not even make it to the top 10 team of any team in the Premier League. But here they are playing for Arsenal and doing better than what they were expected to do, and that's what a good manager will do. They will not go out there and buy players. Obviously, they will have to, but they will go ahead and get the best out of the players. And that's what Wenger used to do a long time back, 20 years back. Try to get the best out of a player when you have limited resources. And he did with Ori and Vieira when they were sort of rejects in Italy. He brought them to Arsenal and created a team and gave them the confidence, and then they became the Ori and Vieira that we know. So Arteta is going in the similar lines. It needs to be seen if he can really take this Arsenal side and make it a top 4 side. Obviously, most people will say we'll write them off right away, saying that they can't do it. But if they can get some team, and this is a team game. If you look at Atalanta or Olympique Lyonnais or Leipzig in the Champions League, what we have saw in those matches in the Champions League, this is a team game, and it's how the team gels and how the team wants to play for each other. That thing is still real. Maybe we are in the 21st century and we believe that it's all about money. It's not. You have to create the team, and if they play if they play for each other, and if they have that brotherlyhood in the team, they can really take it to the next level. And I think Arsenal is like the dark horse for me, because in one hand, they don't have the team which can really win the Premier League, and they're not going to win it. But they can, and they have an Arteta who can really do something good and maybe try to get them in the top 4, because that team is what it needs. We play for each other. That's how it should be, and I guess maybe Arteta can work magic on that. So though it's unlikely, but I'm going to keep that gate open, because there looks like Arsenal might not feature in the top 4 somewhere or somewhere near about. They will not win the Premier League, but they will be up there, and that for them, finishing in the top 4, if they can, it will be like winning the Premier League for the Arsenal fans. So I feel that it is possible. Come to Spurs now. Again, one of the dark horses, not to win the Premier League, but certainly get into the top 4. I think Mourinho's second season in any club is a good season for him. If you look at it, when he inherited this, inherit is a big word, but when he took over the Spurs team, Pochettino has gone. The team was looking down. They had a complete downhill after the Champions League final loss to Liverpool. And a couple of players left, Eriksen being one of them. Some of their players were injured, like Harry Kane. Now he has been able to fix some of it. He has got a couple of signings. He has got some of his players fully fit. And if you look at last season, from the time when he took over the club, the team, where they were and where they finished 6th last season, which is highly, something to be talked about. We're not talked enough of that, but it's immense. So now that he has a full season with Spurs and his kind of players, and as I said, Mourinho's second season is always going to be a much better season. You can watch out. It's a big dark horse. I don't think they will win the league, but a top 4 finish for me, I think Spurs can really, like I said, Arsenal has an outside chance of finishing top 4. Spurs, on the other hand, have a very good chance of getting into top 4. I know Chelsea fans saying something about Spurs, but yeah, I'm not taking the Chelsea jersey today because I want to be as neutral as possible to make this video. So yes, I think they really have an inside chance. If Arsenal has an outside chance, they have an inside chance of getting in. Spurs, for me, has a realistic chance under Mourinho to really get into the top 4 or near about there. I will be surprised come May next year if they are not in the top 4. I think they can be up there. Come to Manchester United. This is where I think, and many people believe that Man United will be in the top 4. I, for one, don't think so. I said it in the first only. If they can get Sancho, on the other hand, and a couple of players like Reguilon, there's talks of Reguilon to Man United, then I will change my decision, because at that time I believe that they will be up there in the top 3. But at this moment, as it stands, I really don't see Man United getting into the top four right away. If Spurs and Arsenal put the pressure on, especially Spurs, who I think can do it. Mourinho will like to do something great with that club. Might not win a trophy, but be up there. Manchester United, in current circumstances, they need some additional force coming in. Otherwise, I don't think they will finish in the top four. If they get Sacho and Regulion and players like that, I'm pretty sure they will finish in the top three, might even win it. But I don't see them getting into top four with this current team, with the teams that are around Spurs, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Liverpool around. Maybe they'll just get in, or maybe they'll just miss it. Either or, it will be Arsenal, Spurs, and Man United fighting for the fourth position. Kind of, makes sense where I'm coming to right now. So now it's Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City. Too hard to call. It's really hard to call, to tell you the truth. I'll go with Man City as third. I know a lot of you will not be happy about it. There's no key signings for Man City. Nathan Ake, okay, a squad player. A lot like what Pochettino had, and this is what I think. I've talked about a couple of people already about this. What Pochettino had at Spurs a couple of seasons ago after the Champions League final loss, it was a complete downhill. It could be a downhill for Pep Guardiola. He already lost a lot of matches last season in the Premier League, losing to clubs like Olympique Lyonnais when you're least expected. So it could be a difference between the manager and some of the players at Man City, plus that sucker punch that Messi was to join Man City and didn't happen. So either, they change all that and come back really strong to win the Premier League, or they just fall apart like what Pochettino and Spurs had. And maybe sometime in the middle of the season, you see Pep is sacked. Highly unlikely, but could happen. I feel that some of the players at Man City might be a little wary, like what happened in Spurs, last season. The likes of KDB and Sterling, don't look like they are in the best of shape with Pep. Maybe it's all wrong, but I think unless something really happens, either they really put their foot on the gas, I think either Man City will a little bit drop off, which gives, if especially the likes of Arsenal and Spurs, build something happening for them, Man City might drop off. Otherwise, they might just, come all guns blazing and win in the league. It'll be either of the two. I, for fun, believe that Man City will drop off a little bit after what happened to them in the Champions League. So for me, it's third. Again, I could be wrong. I won't mind that. But now come to Liverpool and Chelsea. Very tough to call. Very tough to call. Now, I, for one, really don't believe Chelsea can win the league. But if you look at Liverpool, they had like Man City, they had a great season last season and the season before that, winning the Champions League. But if you look at Liverpool, whenever you have a high, you're bound to have a low. That's part of life. You really cannot have high, especially at this level. In those days when Manchester United used to be the big club in England, some 20 years ago, they used to win back-to-back Premier League trophies. Gone are those days. Even when Man City won their back-to-back, 2 seasons ago, the Premier League trophy, Liverpool gave them a run for the money. It was the same number of points. It's only on goal difference, I think Man City won it. So, as I said, when you have a high, you're bound to have a low. Like what happened to Man City last season, they had a big low. I think Liverpool will have that low next season. Somewhere, some things will go wrong. And it happens with every team. That's the reason you have a new team as champions every year, every other year. Even Mourinho's Chelsea back in 15 years ago, we really played well for 2 seasons, won the league twice back-to-back, but then some other team, in that case Manchester United that time, took over and won the league again. So I don't see Chelsea winning the league because so many things, but I just feel Liverpool would not go up there. So it will be Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City for that, first position, and it could be anybody's game. Man City might even fall out, Liverpool might fall out, and Chelsea is not expected to win. So it will be very hard to call, but these 3 teams for that first position, for that league title, Liverpool, I think, will have a little low from what they had, last season or the season before. That only keeps one thing in option, right? That Chelsea is going to win the Premier League. Now, it has happened before. back in 2004, 2005, we bought a lot of players, and there's a lot of talk among Chelsea fans who say that when you have a lot of new players coming, they would not be able to gel so quickly. I think it's for professional players who play so much against each other, both for country and club. It really doesn't matter. They're professional players, They're not like schoolboys, or they're not playing Sunday league matches that they need to create that. They're all great players. They've all come here to prove something. They're earning a lot of money, and I think Chelsea players have done it before back in 2004, 2005. I expect them to really take it differently. The only problem with Chelsea will be our defense and our goalkeeper. And a Chilwell, there's a question mark on Chilwell from my end. I think he is good going forward. Is he an upgrade to either Emerson or Alonso? I don't think so. I guess Frank wanted Chilwell in the team, and that's the reason why he's there. Had Frank wanted Emerson to really work hard and make it, I think Emerson would have made a difference. People will disagree with me, but I think that's Alonso also is, to tell you that Chilwell is not an upgrade as such, defensive qualities, but we need to see how it goes. Thiago Silva obviously makes a difference. He is a leader. He's going to talk to the players more and the defenders and try to defend more better. But then, really will it work out? Not sure. Kepa is going to be there. Kepa has got his own goalkeeping coach. Sheikh has said he's going to work with him. So it'll be interesting to see if Kepa improves. Mendy is coming in. I would have preferred Martinez from Arsenal. He would have been actually a better challenge to Kepa for that number one position, as goalkeeper position, So if this is sorted, because Chelsea's midfield and strikers are, I think, the best in the league, sort of. You look at Havertz, Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi as and when he's fit, Mount on a given day, Giroud, and even Tammy Abraham as and when he comes in and makes a difference. It's going to be really tough to beat that strikers. But if you look at, if your defense is not that good, how many goals are you going to score? Say if you score one goal and your defense concedes another goal, and you score one other goal and your defense again concedes a goal, it will be like a morale down situation where your morale will go down eventually, that I'm scoring, I'm doing all the hard work to score that goal, and here is my defense conceding goals so easily. So I guess that could be Chelsea's Achilles heel. I feel that that could be the reason why Chelsea might not win the Premier League. But saying that, I think Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City, unless Man City drops off like what Spurs did last season, it will be a 3-horse race for the number one position, and it could come very close. It could come very close, and anybody can win it. There will be a touch and go between these three clubs, mainly with Liverpool and Chelsea, I think, more than ever. I think we are going to play each other in about 10 days from now. But I think these three, for the top three, Man United, Spurs and Arsenal, fighting it out for the fourth position. I think that's how it's going to be, more or less. Relegation, I don't want to talk about that. It's not so easy to talk about relegation. At this moment, you cannot say which team is going to get relegated, whether it's Fulham, whether it's a West Ham, whether it's an Aston Villa. It's just guesses. It's not easy to talk about it. But this top six, pretty much, teams like Wolves, Sheffield United, Everton, might try to get in Leicester City in that matter. Though Leicester also, I feel, will have a below par season this season, after the high they had last season. So maybe they'll try to get in, but I think it will be those three teams, Liverpool, Man City and Chelsea, for the title. Arsenal, Spurs and Man United for the fourth position. Arsenal and Spurs will really try to get into the top four. I think Spurs have a realistic chance, more than United and Arsenal, to be in the top four. You guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you guys really think this is going to happen? Do you guys think there's some other team who's going to win the Premier League, or some other teams who are going to be in the top four? You can keep it coming in the comment section as always. I love hearing from you guys. So until next time, I leave it at that. Hoping that we have a different champion this Premier League. It's how it's been for most of the seasons, except a couple of years back when Man City won back-to-back. Sort of rhyming. So I leave it at that. Until next time, guys. See you. Bye-bye.